Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about collecting and tariffs. Obviously, I am a part of the action figure community on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. It's something I love. It's something I enjoy. It's what I make videos about on this channel. But honestly, when it comes to these tariffs and what they are doing to people who collect, well, anything that has to be imported, it's pretty much the same across the board. People are concerned. And for the last 2 to 3 weeks now at this point, everywhere I go, all the different feeds and posts and things that I see, the vast majority of them have something to do with prices and tariffs. And people are upset and concerned and worried what this is going to do to their personal hobby. And look, I get it. I love action figures. It's not my only hobby, but it is a big hobby of mine. And, I want to find a way to continue to do the thing that I love to do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, 2 main points, really, that hopefully will either get people to worry a little bit less about this, or maybe give some people some ideas on things they can do to keep enjoying collecting while tariffs and prices and things continue to increase. One, and this is just a point that just has to be made. Look, these tariffs are not going to last forever. Regardless of where you fall in politics, and that's not what this video is about in any way, shape, or form. The point of these tariffs, and it's in the name, retaliatory tariffs, is to try and get some of the tariffs that have been levied against the United States to go away, or at least to drop considerably. That's the whole point, right? And when and if that happens, you're going to see these tariffs disappear. You're going to see the prices hopefully go back down, unless these greedy corporations realize they can just charge more for their products, and everything will be okay again. So in the meantime, you need to just keep one thing in mind. And as much as it sucks, it's true. These things are not necessary to your everyday life. They're just not. You may enjoy them. I certainly do. But this is not necessary. This is not a need. So just don't buy things that have increased in price. I mean, that's the simple way to do it. Because here's the thing, if you keep buying and companies keep selling regardless of tariff surcharges and everything else, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either the tariffs don't go away because the companies and the other countries continue to see steady sales, so they have no reason to really do anything about American tariffs, or the tariffs do go away, but companies have then realized they can still charge more money and you'll still buy their stuff, and they keep the prices high anyway, which is something they're always looking to do. So the most important thing you can do if you want prices to eventually go back down, whether it be greedy corporations or tariffs, is stop buying this stuff right now. Like, period. End of story. Stop buying things for inflated prices because of these tariffs, and it will come back to normal if you do that. But if you keep buying, either the tariffs are going to stay in place, or the corporations will just make up that price when the tariffs do go away. That's point number 1. Point number 2. Chances are, in your collection, action figures, toys, whatever it may be, there are probably other things out there that are not being imported that you also enjoy collecting. Things that fall within the realm of your current collecting habits and your current collection. For me, with action figures, as I've been talking about for a year and a half now, I've gone back and started picking up a lot of older figures, mostly DC themed figures, because I was very unhappy with the direction McFarlane had gone and continued to go. And yeah, I'm also a little bit happy that they're going to be losing the license, because I have a little hope that I might get DC figures that I like again. But in the meantime, if that doesn't happen, and while there was no expectation of that happening for the last year and a half, I've been going back and buying older Mattel figures, older DC Direct figures. I've been buying Mafex DC figures. And I've been having a lot of fun, and I've been really, really happy picking up a lot of these older figures. And guess what? With these older figures, these figures that you buy on eBay or at your local, toy shop or comic store or whatever it is, or buying on Mercari, wherever, right? There's no tariffs on these things. Sure, Sometimes these older figures can be worth more, but sometimes they're actually worth a little bit less than they were brand new at retail, depending on what the figure is, what the line is, and when it was actually made and released into the United States. I've picked up a lot of figures for under current retail for figures. I mean, current retail is what, 20 to 25 bucks? I've picked up a ton of figures in the $10 to $20 range. Some figures cheaper than they actually were when they were originally released. Why? Because I'm just going back and buying older stuff that tariffs don't affect. And that's a way to ensure that you're not buying things at inflated prices that just help further this whole tariff BS, that just help support companies' thoughts that you're going to continue to buy their stuff no matter what the price is, thus feeding into that greed that they have, that they might decide, even if the tariffs do go away, to not lower their prices. Just buy older stuff. I mean, you know, I picked this up right here. I love these old G.I. Joes, and these are from a line that not a lot of people cared about, Valor versus Venom. I picked this up for $5 for this 2-pack. It was great. I picked up stuff like these Spawn figures right here at a local comic shop for 10 bucks a piece, and guess what? Retail on them was $9.98. I paid $19.97 and $19.98 retail prices for these two figures. 10 bucks a piece. That's what they originally cost 20 some odd years ago, and that's what I paid for them now. And they're cool figures that I like. Now, you may not like those figures. You may not like the old G.I. Joes. You may not like the old McFarlane figures. You may not like the Mattel stuff that I collect or the DC Direct stuff that I collect. But chances are you like something older. You like something that's available, widely available at comic shops and toy stores and on eBay and on Mercari. Chances are there's older stuff out there that's not going to be affected by tariffs that you can go buy, that you can temporarily, while all this stuff is going on, kind of switch your buying habits, kind of switch up the focus of your collection and enjoy collecting some of these things while these other issues with tariffs get worked out. And that's just, to me, common sense, but I see so many people getting upset because they're gonna have to spend more money for the latest, greatest freaking Maximum Hulk figure or DC figure from McFarlane or whatever it might be. Guys, don't stress. Don't worry about those things right now. Let the companies and the governments and the people controlling the tariffs worry about that stuff and figure that out. And when it's all figured out, you can go back to collecting those newer items. For now, there is tons of stuff to collect. Tons of stuff going back 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years. If you love old vintage stuff from the 80s like I do, because that's when I was a little kid, I still love picking up old G.I. Joes and Star Wars and all kinds of stuff. There is tons of stuff to collect that isn't going to see inflated prices because of tariffs. That's what you should be focusing on at times like this. Leave the tariff stuff to their own devices. Let the companies and governments figure that stuff out. There is a ton of things that you can collect to scratch that itch, to build your collection, to enjoy your collection, and to put a little smile on your face when you look at your collection. So that's pretty much it, guys. Look, don't worry about the tariffs. Do not buy things at inflated prices. And remember, there is tons of stuff. Doesn't cost you any extra whatsoever that's out there waiting for a collector like you to pick up and enjoy.